Hello guys, my name is Victoria Pavlov. I'm the Photoshop artist. Welcome to my studio. Today I will show to you how easy you can get started in Adobe Photoshop. Even if you never worked with Adobe Photoshop before, today I will show to you how you can get started, and I'm more than sure you will start working with Photoshop right after this tutorial. So guys, let's jump. After you will launch Adobe Photoshop will welcome you with home screen. Under home screen session, you will be able to find your recent project, all project you recently worked with. Also, you will be able to find tutorials. If you would like to learn Adobe Photoshop, simply click on Go to Learn. And from the home screen session in Adobe Photoshop on desktop, you will be able to create your new document or open your document you previously worked with. And we will talk about this later on. You can sort your recent documents by name, size, kind. Also, you will be able to switch between list and grid view. If you will click on Learn tab, you will be redirected to Learn session where you can find all tutorials about Adobe Photoshop. Next is a Lightroom photo session. If you will click on this tab, you will be redirected to Lightroom Photos session where you can find all your Lightroom albums. Next tab is Cloud Documents. I love Cloud Documents. You can access to your cloud documents from anywhere at any time you like. Under Cloud Document session, again, you will be able to sort your cloud documents by date modified and a name. Also, you will be able to preview, to switch between the grid and list view. And guys, you can create a new folder to organize your cloud documents. If you will click on these three dots under the Cloud Document thumbnail, you will be able to rename, delete your cloud document or move your document to any available folder. Also, guys, you can create your new folder from here, or as I mentioned just a second ago, from this icon. So next tab is deleted. If you will click on it, you will be redirected to Workspace where you can preview all your deleted documents. And if you will click on three dots under any deleted document, you will be able to restore this document or delete it permanently. It's up to you. So guys, this is all about home screen in Adobe Photoshop on a desktop. If you would like to avoid a home screen, if you would like to jump right away into Photoshop, simply click on this Photoshop icon and voila, you will be redirected right to Photoshop, passing by home screen. If you would like to come back to home screen at any time, simply click on this home icon and you will be redirected back to home screen. Now, let's talk about how you can start your project in Adobe Photoshop. To start working on any of our projects, definitely we need to create a new document. We can create a new document simply clicking on Create New. And Photoshop will launch a new document window. You can find a few very helpful tabs under New Document window. Currently, I'm located in a Recent tab. Here I can find all my documents I previously worked with, not my finished project, templates for my project, sizes for my document. If I have any saved documents, I will click on Saved, and here I will find all my saved documents. If I would like to start working with a photo, if I would like to start working on my photo project, I will click on Photo, and here I will find all photo sizes for my photo project. Also guys, here we have templates. If you would like to create something very fast on the go, click on any templates and you will be able to create your photo project just in 5 minutes. And by the way, all these templates are fully customizable, and we will talk about this during our next tutorial. If you cannot find any templates for your project, click on view all presets and voila, you will have much more presets you can work with. Same with print, art and illustration, web, mobile, film and video. So it doesn't matter what project you are working on, you always will find templates with black canvas or ready to go templates with colors, with text, with anything you like. And by the way, if you will, example, if I will click on photo and I will click on default Photoshop size, you can see on the left side of my new document panel preset details. Even if I will use Photoshop presets, I can customize my preset. First of all, I can change name, my tutorial example. I can change width, height, I can change switch between pixels, inches, centimeters. We have a lot of very wonderful options. We can change a resolution, same with I can switch resolution to pixels, inches, pixels, and centimeters. Also guys, I can switch between orientation for my document, and I can click artboard to create artboard. So guys, even if we are working with presets, we can customize our presets. Same with ready to go presets. I'm naming them ready to go because in ready to go presets we have all information. We have colors, we have images, we have text size, but again, we can customize anything in a way we like. So I will click on my recent tab, and here I have my recent projects I worked with. I will click on it if I need to change something. Example, if I would like to change a color for my background, I will change my color to red. Also, you can change color for your background from this drop down menu. You can choose a white, a black, transparent background color, or custom like I did right now. After I specified everything, I click create, and voila, here is my document. Now I can do anything I want. Also, we can create a new document directly from a Photoshop workspace. To do so, simply click on File, New, and you will be redirected back to the same new document window where you can click on any presets you want to work with. What I will do, I will use same presets we just used a second ago, but I will switch orientation to landscape just like that, and I will click OK. Now we have same we are using same templates, but I change orientation, and also I change background color to white. Let's look on our layers panel. By default, Photoshop will create a new document with one layer, background layer. And this layer is locked. To unlock any layer, simply click on lock icon, just like that, and Photoshop will unlock this layer, and also Photoshop will rename this layer to layer 0. Definitely, guys, you can change any, you can rename any layer. Double click on layer name and rename it to my original layer, just like that. Also, guys, you can apply color label to any layer. Example, I love this layer. I know that this layer is exactly as I wanted. I have a white color and this is what I wanted. I'm a visual person, I know, like many of you, and for me visual representation matters a lot. So if I will apply colored label to this layer, color of my layer will give me clear information about this layer, because I love this layer and I know this layer is exactly as I wanted. I will apply right click on my layer, and here guys we have colors we can apply to our layers. Because I love this layer, I will apply green color to this layer, and look at this. Yes. Now if I will look at this layer, I will know that yes, I love this layer, I'm happy with this layer. How you can create a new layer? To create any new layer, simply click on plus icon at the bottom of your layer panel and layers panel, and you will create a new empty layer. By new empty layer, I mean this layer has no information. It's empty layer, no pixels data, no color data, no text data, nothing in it. It's simple empty layer without any information. Again guys, do not forget to rename your layer. It's very important. I will double click on layer name and I will rename it to my first shape, because I will add shape to this layer later on, and voila. If I would like to duplicate my layer, and we will not talk about keyboard shortcuts, we will talk about keyboard shortcuts later on. To duplicate any layer, simply click on a layer you would like to duplicate and drag it to plus icon, just like that. And Photoshop will create a copy of your layer. Photoshop will create a copy of your layer, and Photoshop will automatically rename it to my first shape copy layer. And definitely you can rename it, double click, and I will rename it to my second shape, just like that. And again, right click on your layer and you can apply any color, colored label to your layer, but I will leave it for later on because I'm not sure about how happy I will be with this particular layer later on. Guys, if you will have more than 10 layers, I can guarantee in 10, 15, 20 minutes after, you will never remember each layer. So example, if you have a layer with small details, you will never remember where some particular detail you can find from. So example, I have 25 layers and I would like to find one layer with particular eyelash I painted, and it will be very difficult to locate this particular eyelash without clear name of my layers. So do not forget to rename your layers. This is very, very, very important. Another great way of organizing your layers panel. Simply organize your layers by folders. How you can organize your how you can create your folders in a layers panel. I will highlight my two layers, my second shape and my first shape, and I will click on this and create a new group or folder icon at the bottom of your layer panels. I will click on it and voila! I have created a new group with two selected layers. Of course, I can rename this group or folder. You can name it as you like. Double click on group and I will rename it my shapes, just like that. I will expand this group, and here guys, I still have my two layers, and each layer has a separate name. So it's a very great layers organization. So if you have I don't know, 1000 layers, as I have in many cases, 2000 layers. It's a great way of organizing your layers panel by renaming each layer and organizing your layers by group. Example, if I'm working on digital painting, portrait digital painting, I will create a few folders, a few groups. Example, one group will be subject face, another group will be subject hair, another group will be subject hands. So in that case, after even 30, 40, 100 hours of work, I will be able to find a particular part of my painting much easier. Also, guys, you can also at any time find your layers by name, effect, mode, attribute, color, smart object, selected, and artboard. So, guys, layers panel is a small panel visually, but this is a very powerful panel. Please pay deep attention to layers panel. Organize your layers by name, folders, groups, by applying different colored labels to each layer or to each group. Yes, you can apply colored label to different groups. Same, simply click on a group layer and apply any color you like, just like that. And now you can very clearly visually preview each group, each layer. So now let's talk about our toolbar. I love toolbar. By default, we have all tools displayed in our toolbar, but depends of our work flow we are working on, we are not always using all our tools in same workflow. Example, in my painting workflow, I don't use 3D tools. In my photography workflow, I don't use 3D tools as well. To make everything organized, I can organize my toolbar in the way I like. I can organize my tool depend of my workflow. To organize your toolbar, simply click on Edit, Toolbar, just like that. And here, guys, we have default toolbar structure. In a customized toolbar panel, you can see, let me expand it for you. You can see that we have two windows. One window, toolbar, has all our tools. Next to it, we have another space. We have extra tools. Here, guys, we will have all our tools we don't need in some particular workflow. Example, as I mentioned just a second ago, working on my painting, I don't need 3D material eyedropper tool. I will click on this tool and I will move this tool to extra tool window or to extra tools space. You can name it as you like. Also, I don't use a count tool in my digital painting workflow. I will click on this tool and I will drag it to extra tools space. Same with slice tool. Same with slice select tool. Red eye tool. Content aware move tool. Just like that. So I can continue moving all tools I don't use in my digital painting workflow from my toolbar window to extra tools window or space. You can name it as you like. After I'm happy with everything, I can click on done. But before that, I would like to bring your attention to this. By default, example in let me scroll it up. In a brush family folder, we have all 4 tools displayed under each other. So, example, to have access to my Mixel brush tool, I need to long press on my brush family tool. I will expand window and I will choose Mixer brush tool. To make everything easier, I will separate my tools. So I will click on Mixer brush tool and I will separate it from my brush tool family. Same with pencil tool, just like that. Same with color replacement tool. After I'm happy with everything, I will click done. And now guys, look at this. I have separately displayed my mixer brush tool, my pencil tool, my color replacement tool, and my brush tool. So I don't need to spend time long press on some specific tool, example like this, and click on any tool I want to use. Now all my tools displayed separately. I can access to any tool just like this. And guys, don't be afraid, you did not delete any tool. All your tools are still in your tool bar. Simply click on these three dots icon just like that, long press, and you will be able to choose any tool from your extra tools space. Remember guys, you drag tool you don't use in some specific workplace from a toolbar to extra tools. So this is all if you will long press on your three dots icon, you will be able to access to all your extra tools just like that. And by the way, you can edit your toolbar from here. Click on edit toolbar, and if you would like to restore your default toolbar, click restore defaults just like that. Click done, and voila, as you can see, we restored our toolbar to original default stage, just like that. I would like to bring your attention to this icon, change screen mode. You can simply click F key and you will do same, but if you never worked with Photoshop before, I will leave keyboard shortcuts for a later tutorial, and we will talk about how we can press on some specific features on tools. So if you will click once on change screen mode icon, you can see that your option bar is hidden right now. If you will click one more time, Photoshop will ask you the full screen mode panel are hidden. They can be accessed on the sides of the screen or revealed by pressing tab. Yes, yes, yes. So if I will click full screen, you can see that now all my tools, all my panels are hidden, and now I have only my document visible. So if you would like to present your project, present your image, painting or photography in presenting mode, this is the way. You can escape this full screen mode. Simply click on escape key, and voila, you will be redirected back to default Photoshop. You can create different workspaces for different workflows. I created different workspaces for photography workflow, for digital painting workflow, for web design workflow. You can access to different workspaces from a window menu. Simply click on window menu, workspaces, and here guys we have all workspaces. By default we have essential, 3D, motion, painting, photography, graphic, and a web. If you will click on a painting, you will be redirected to painting workspace, where, as you can see, we have swatches, brushes, of course, layers. If I will switch back to essential default workspace, I will be redirected back to our workspace we started with. You can create your own workspace. Example, let me open my Shapes panel. You can open any panel. I opened Shapes panel just for example. I opened my Shapes panel. I reposition it next to my toolbar. I also, as we know already, can customize my toolbar. I can customize my workspace in a way I like. So I know that when I'm working on my web and graphic design, I'm using shapes all the time. And for me, it's more convenient when my shapes panel displayed next to my toolbar. So I don't want to open my shapes panel all the time, every time when I'm working on my graphic in web project. I don't want to reposition my shapes panel to a way I like it. So I want just to switch to my workspace and everything will be in a way I like. So I reposition my shapes, I customize my toolbar, and I will go to Window, Workspace, and I will click on a new workspace. Here, guys, I can rename my workspace, my tutorial workspace, just like that. I can specify that, yes, Photoshop, I would like to keep all my keyboard shortcuts I specify for this particular workspace, menus, and toolbar. After I specify everything, I will click Save, and voila. This anytime, even in a year after today, I will would like to jump to my tutorial workspace. I will click on it, and voila, I will be redirected back to my tutorial workspace. If I would like to switch to essential default at any time, I can click on it and I will switch it. Same with my art. I will click on my art workspace, and here I have my art workspace. So guys, organize your workspace, create your workspace in a way you like. It's like your bookshelf. You can organize your bookshelf in a way you like. You can access to any specific type of book at any time. You can organize your bookshelf by genre, by even book color, by title, by name, by time you bought some specific book. Same in here. You can customize your workspaces in Adobe Photoshop in a way you like. Now, let's talk about selection tools in Adobe Photoshop. As with everything in Adobe Photoshop, we have thousands of ways doing same thing. So if you never worked with Adobe Photoshop before, start experimenting and you will develop your own favorite style, or you will discover your favorite tool you will be using all the time. Today, let's talk about selection tool. We have a lot of absolutely amazing selections tools in Adobe Photoshop. We have rectangular marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool, single row marquee tool, single column marquee tool. We have polygonal lasso tool. We have magnetic lasso tool. We have object selection tool, quick selection tool, and magic wand tool. We have a lot of selection tools. Also, if we will click on select menu, here we have one of my favorite options of selecting my object, focus area, or select a subject. But you know me, guys, I always would like to give you the easiest way of doing something in Photoshop. So today, I'm more than happy to present you my new favorite selection option in Photoshop, object selection tool. You can click on fourth row in your toolbar and click on object selection tool, just like that, or simply click W key on your keyboard, just like that. And now, as you can see, Photoshop selection tool is selected, and I would like to select this yellow, let me zoom in, this yellow circle. This yellow circle is out of focus, and how can I select it with one click? It's very simple. I will ask Photoshop, Photoshop, I want to select this yellow circle. I will do this, and look at this. And I don't know if you noticed, guys, I even didn't cover entire my circle. I covered half of my circle, but Photoshop is smart enough to understand that. I know, Victoria, you want to select entire yellow circle. Let me do like this. Look at this once again. And voila. Same with this blue circle. I deselect yellow. Just like that. But what if I would like to select some part, example of my subject face? I want to select her lips to change color of her lipstick. I can do it as well. I will ask Photoshop, Photoshop, I would like to select her lips to change a color of her lipstick. Can you do it for me? And Photoshop will say, yes, of course, Victoria, I can do it for you. And now you can change color, you can do whatever you like. But now, let's switch to another document. By default, right now I have only one layer. This layer Photoshop named background layer, and this layer is locked. As we talked before, to unlock your layer, simply click on this lock icon, and Photoshop will unlock your layer for you. Now I would like to definitely remove this reading girl from her background. I would like to add some beautiful background to my image. Can I do this? Of course I can. I will be using same object selection tool. I will ask Photoshop to select this girl only and look at this. Be honest with you, this example is very difficult because it's a white background with a lot of shadows and everything, and Photoshop did amazing job. But I would like to tell Photoshop that, Photoshop, I would like to remove this selection from my selection. So I will do a click on remove it, and just like that. Look at this. Basically showing Photoshop that I don't want this area in my selection, and Photoshop will say, okay, Victoria, if you don't want, we will not add this area into your selection. But I would like to ask Photoshop to add this area to my selection. Let me zoom in for you. Add this area to my selection. What I will do in the options bar, I will click on add to selection icon, and I will ask Photoshop, Photoshop, I want this in my selection. And Photoshop will say, okay, I will do it for you just like this. And Photoshop will add area to your selection. Same with this edges of her book. And look at this. Maybe this part of her knee I would like to add to my selection as well. If I added more than I want, I will switch to subtract from selection. And definitely, guys, I just would like to show to you that you can do anything you like, and even if you made a mistake, it doesn't mean you cannot change anything. Look at this. Also, between her elbow and her dress, we have white space. I don't want to include to my selection. I will click on subtract from a selection icon, and I will tell Photoshop, I don't need this white space in my selection. Just like that. After I selected everything, guys, we have another magical tab, a magical workspace in Photoshop. I love this workspace. We have select and mask workspace. I will click on it, select and mask, and voila, guys. Yes. We were redirected to select and mask workspace. And here we can adjust our selection in a way we like. Look at this powerful workspace. We have all tools necessary to adjust and make our selection perfect. We have quick selection tool, we have refined edge brush tool, yes, we have brush tool, And yes, we have object selection tool, we have lasso tool, we have hand tool, and we have zoom tool. So guys, even if you did not select your subject before, you can open your image in select and mask workspace, and you can start selecting and masking your subject directly from select and mask workspace, and I love it. You can see it. As I can see now, I like what Photoshop did with my selection, and if you will pay attention to this shadow, I still would like to preserve this shadow, because definitely she will cast a shadow on the surface she sits on. And if you would like to illuminate shadow, you can illuminate shadow. You can illuminate shadow from same workspace. Simply switch to a brush tool, increase size of your brush, and you can paint it out. Simply switch between minus icon and plus icon. If I will click on minus icon, I will remove shadow. If I will click on plus icon, I will add a shadow. So it's up to you. Also, you can switch hardness and size and spacing. You can basically adjust your brush from select and mask workspace, and also you can change angle of your brush directly from your toolbar option bar in your workspace without switching to any other tool or panel. On the left side of our select and mask workspace, we have very powerful properties panel. Pay close attention to this panel. First of all, let's talk about view mode. My favorite view mode is onion skin. Why? Because here, guys, I clearly can preview my selection. And we have transparency slider in here. If I will move my transparency slider all the way to the right, I will bring my background back. If I will move transparency slider all the way to the left, I will illuminate my transparency slider. Sometimes, very often, I specify transparency value to 47, 50%, because here I can still preview my background. That means I can preview my image, and I can adjust my selection in the way I like. But when we are working with hair, one of my favorite view modes is black and white, and here I can preview my mask. Now I would like to change fix mask around her hair. I will switch to refined edge brush. I will increase size of my brush, and I will paint around her hair. Look at this. Now I have perfect mask around her hair. Also, I can add mask around her shadows, because I remember I have shadows here, and anywhere I like. Guys, another very helpful view mode is overlay. Now we can preview anything, and definitely we can see that I made mistake with her hair. I still in refined edges edge brush tool. I will switch to minus icon, and I will tell Photoshop that I need to clean up these edges. And if I missed anything in my selection, I can fix anything right away. I can switch to brush tool. I will bring size of my brush down. I will click on minus icon, and I will tell Photoshop that Photoshop, one second guys, Photoshop that I don't need this white area between her hair and her face, and Photoshop will say, okay Victoria, you don't need, just like this. You can spend, guys, of course, more time. You can increase size of your brush or bring size of your brush down, depends on area you are working on. Close to the edges, you need to use a smaller size of your brush. Just like that. And look at this. If you painted more than you wanted, simply click on plus icon and you will paint the back area you mistakenly erased, just like that. And again, switching between minus and plus icon will help you to create perfect selection, just like this. Let me zoom out. Look at this, and look at her knee. I made clearly mistake. I will click on plus icon. I will increase size of my brush and I will paint it back. Oh, yes, guys, you can spend more time to make your selection perfect. It's up to you, but I will not spend more time on it because we have a lot of things we need to talk about still. So this is my selection. If I'm happy with my selection, I can start make it perfect. So I cannot leave it like this, guys. I'm sorry. I would like to remove this area just like that, and I would like to bring this part of her hair back just like this. And again, guys, you can make better job, just spend more time. So let's pretend I have a perfect selection. To finalize my selection and continue with my photo manipulation workflow, I can play with edge detection. It's up to you guys. I can move my smooth slider to the left, same with feather, contrast, shift edges. It's up to you guys. Each image is different. So if you will ask me what is a perfect setting, guys, I'm not sure because each image is unique. So play with it. But what I can say for sure is output settings always supposed to be specified to new layer with a layer mask. Yes, and also I prefer all the time to specify decommentate colors just like that, because now Photoshop will remove any color, unnecessary color information around your subject. So I specified a new layer with layer mask. You can click on remember settings and Photoshop will remember your setting. After you're happy with everything, click OK. And if you will ask me, Victoria, why you specify new layer with layer mask? I will show to you why just in a second. So I specify everything. I'm happy with my selection. I will click OK, just like that. And now Photoshop creates a new layer with layer mask. If I would like to adjust anything in my mask in 20 minutes later, in 1 year later, if I didn't merge layers, remember this, if I didn't merge layers, if I would like to adjust my selection later on, I will double click on a layer mask just like this, and Photoshop will redirect me back to select an mask workspace where I can adjust my selection. Yes, that's why I specified new layer with a layer mask. But this is not default Photoshop setting. To make sure that you always can double click on layer mask and be redirected to a layer selected mask workspace, you need to apply one extra step. Simply go to preferences, tools, and here, guys, you need to click you need to select this box. Double click a layer mask, launches select and mask workspace. After you will click and select this box, you will be able to double click on your layer mask and you will be redirected to select and mask workspace. So after we selected this removed the background from our image, Photoshop creates a new layer with layer mask, and my default layer is hidden. I don't need this layer anymore, so I will simply click on this layer, and I will drag this layer into my trash basket, or just like this, and Photoshop will delete it. Now, how can I add another layer? How can I replace my background? Because now she has transparent layer. Today I will be using images I downloaded and licensed from Adobe Stock. You can use any image you like. So this is image I would like to use today. I will click on this image and I will drag this image into my document. And now, as you can see that when I'm placing my layer, my Photoshop creates handles. When I drag these handles, I can resize my layer, my image. So what I will do, I will resize it proportionally without holding any key, and I will click OK. And if you will look right now in my layers panel, you will see that I have my background image, my forest image, above my main subject image. These girls are reading the book. How can I fix it? Remember, guys, I told you that a layers panel is a very powerful tool, very powerful panel. Yes, it is. Simply click on your background image and drag this image, this layer, under your reading girl layer, just like this, and voila. Now, our girl is obviously big for this background. We can fix it in a few ways. First way is a very simple way. You can click on your background image and you can resize it. You can scale size up just like that. Or you can click on your main subject layer, girl layer, and you can scale size down just like this. And now this girl sits in the snow and reading her book just like this. Look at this, how beautiful is it? And now we have different tone, colors and everything. We can fix everything, guys. Yes, we can fix everything without any trouble. How we can bring all colors in harmony, how we can bring all these two layers in harmony with color information, and we resize these layers. Now we have a proportionally correct image, but colors are off still. Can we fix it? Yes. Again, in Photoshop we can to do same thing in many ways. Today we are how to get started in Photoshop, so I will show to you the easiest and fastest way. First of all, I will go to Window and I will click on Adjustments. Adjustments are very powerful in any workflow in Adobe Photoshop. Using adjustments, you can bring in harmony everything. You can create any artifact. So adjustments panel is always opened in my workflow, except my painting workflow. So why I'm using adjustments, I will show you just in a second. I will highlight my top layer and I will click on color lookup. And here, guys, when I clicked on color lookup, Photoshop creates a new layer with a layer mask. And I'm always applying adjustments as a separate layer, because in this way I can create adjustment without applying permanent changes to my image. So I can delete my adjustment layer at any time. I can adjust my adjustment layer at any time. And the best part, Photoshop creates a new adjustment layer with a layer mask already. So here in Properties panel, I can click apply any color lookup I want. Example, let's do drop blue, and now we have nice cold winter feeling. But if you would like to change it, you can click on crisp winter look, and just like this. And because we applied our adjustment as separate layer, we can manipulate our layer as any other layer. What I will do, I will try to change blend mode for my adjustment layer. And yes, in Photoshop we can live preview our adjustments. Look at this. As I noticed, you can create any effect you like. I will click on darken, and also I will bring down opacity of my layer. If you would like to apply some extreme blend mode, you can do it as well. Example, look at this. I will click on lighten blend mode, and also I will bring down opacity of my layer to 36. Look at this. Now, what if you would like to apply adjustment only to some specific layer? Now I applied my adjustment layer to my entire document, but what if I would like to add adjustment only to this girl, not to my forest? Can I do this? Definitely I can. I will highlight my girl layer. I will click on, let's do I don't know, color balance. I will click on a color balance adjustment. In the properties panel, I will click on this adjustment clipping mask icon, just like that. And now I will apply my adjustment only to the layer below my adjustment layer. Also, I will apply my adjustment only to this girl, not to the forest. And after I apply clipping adjustment, I can change color. I apply adjustment only to my girl. What I will do, I will just add more cool cold color to her skin. Look at this. How beautiful is it? So guys, adjustments are very powerful tools. Always apply adjustments as separate layer. Don't apply your adjustment permanently to your image, because if you would like to change adjustments later on, in 20 minutes later, in 5 minutes later, or in 3 weeks later, it will be very difficult to reverse adjustment if you applied it permanently. So always apply adjustments as separate layer. Also, I would like to talk about, did you notice guys, when let's switch to this background. When I brought another image into my document, example, let's do this. I placed my image with resizable handles. It's easiest way for me, not all the time jump back to my move tool and resize my layer, resize my image. So now I can do it right after I placed my layer, I placed my image into my document. How did I do that? It's very easy. I will go to Photoshop Preferences, General, and here I will click on, I will check this box, resize image during place, just like that. And always, guys, always create your layer as a smart object. Also, after you will specify resize image during place, always check this amazing box. Always create smart object when placing. In that way, you will always be working in a safe mode. You can always undo any effect. Just like that, if you will look at my layers panel, you will see this cloud icon. That means its layer has smart, this cloud icon is smart object icon. always use smart objects. Why? Because let's do this with you. Let's example, if I would like to add different color to my layer, I can go to filter, camera raw filter. Here I can do anything I like. Example, I will do it extremely right now for better preview for you. I will increase exposure, contrast, highlight, and I will click OK. And a few minutes later I will say, oh my god, what did I do? I don't like this. Guys, you don't need to start all over. You don't need to delete this layer. Simply hide your filter. You just apply it. Click on this camera raw icon, just like that, filter, and voila. If you would like to bring visibility back, bring this camera raw filter visibility back. You can do it only if you are working with smart object layer, just like this. So guys, this is about smart objects. This is about how you can select and mask your object in Now let's talk about text tool and colors in Adobe Photoshop. And again, guys, this is a basics. If you would like to learn more deep about any specific tool or feature in Adobe Photoshop, just let me know. So let's talk about our text tool. You can access to your text tool from Toolbar. Simply click on text tool. By default, we are in a horizontal type tool. If you will long press on horizontal type tool, you will be able to switch between different types. Today we will talk about a horizontal type tool. Click on it. You can click once and just type hello. If you will go to window, click on properties, you will open your properties panel. Properties panel always supposed to be open because depends of the tool you are using. You can modify, you can apply changes to anything using a properties panel. So always have your properties panel opened. So now I typed hello and I can change anything I like. I can change size of my word and highlight it, and you can change it from the drop down menu, or you can click on a text icon and just drag it to the left or to the right. If you will drag it to the right or left from you, you will increase size. Left or right from you, you will size it down. So it's up to you. So I will increase size. I can change paragraph style. So guys, again, it's up to you. And also, yes, you can change font to any other font. It's up to you. Also from properties panel, definitely guys, you can change a color for your text. Use any color you like. If you will click on three dots icon, you will expand advanced menu. So guys, it's easiest way how to get started with a text in Photoshop. You can move your text in anywhere you like. Simply click on move tool and you will be able to move your tool anywhere in your document. What else? You can apply effect to your text. Because we are working on a separate layer, of course, Photoshop will create automatically separate layer for your text layer. You can click on special effect icon at the bottom of your layer panel. You will click on add a layer style, and here guys we have a few powerful options to add style to your text. Example, if I would like to add stroke, I will click on stroke and I will say, you know, Photoshop, I would like to have this blue border stroke around my text. I will specify color, just like that. I can specify size. I can change between a color, a gradient, and pattern. It's up to you. So guys, look at this. If you specify gradient, you can change gradient color, just like that. And look at this. After you're happy with everything, click OK. And as you noticed, guys, Photoshop creates effect to Photoshop add effect to your text as not destructively. So if you would like to undo your stroke effect, you don't need to start all over. You don't need to delete your layer and start everything over. Simply hide stroke effect, just like that. Switching between, click on eye icon next to stroke effect, just like that, and voila. How easy is it? Now, let's talk about, I like this color. I love this color. And I would like to use this color later on in my other workflow. Or even if I would like to use this color in my mobile workflow, I can write it down, numbers, or I can do everything in more easier way. Let me open my Creative Cloud library. I will switch to example Adobe Live library, and I like this text, I like this type, I like this color. Under my layers panel, I have plus icon, add content. I will click on it, and here, guys, I can add my hello word to my Creative Cloud library. I can add text color, I can add layer effect stroke color, foreground color, character style, layer style, graphic, or add all. I will click on add all, and voila, here is everything. Here is my hello word. I can use anywhere in my any workflow using my Creative Cloud library. So guys, Creative Cloud libraries are very powerful libraries. If you would like to learn about it more deep, just let me know. I will be happy to do it for you. Another way of creating colors. In the toolbar, we have Eyedropper Tool. Simply click on Eyedropper Tool and click anywhere in your text to pick some specific color out of your image, and voila, look at this. You have this red color in your foreground color. If you would like to switch to stroke color, click on stroke color and look at foreground color. Foreground color change to your stroke color. So guys, it's very easy. Definitely we have a lot of to talk about. Photoshop is amazing application. If you would like to learn something specifically about some tools on some feature in Adobe Photoshop, just let me know. Again, I will be more than happy to do it for you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all your support. Super appreciated. If you like this tutorial, share it. Thank you, guys. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. I always have something new for you. Thank you, guys, and I will see you later. Bye.